Hello, and welcome to Songs for the Struggling Artist, the blogcast. Here we are at episode 113. And I just finished posting a blog that I thought, I really should just go ahead and blogcast that one. But the song is not quite ready yet, so I'm gonna not. Although, who knows? If I really manage to go crazy this evening, I will see what I can do. But this one is so. I say that because I'm like, my brain is kind of stuck in fury about what's going on in the American political situation at the moment with what's his fuck. Kavanaugh. Anyway, there's a post coming. Just hang on to your hats for that one. But that's not today. Today, you're not going to have that post. Today, I'm going to give you a post about theater. How about that? I mean, it's a slightly angry post about theater, but and when I read it, I just want to forewarn you that I may give it more heat than it really requires, just because I'm super mad about other things. So if there's more heat on this than you expected, that's why. Anyway, welcome. Thank you so much for listening. I'm super glad that you're here. And so thanks. So this is episode 113. It is Theater is Not a Training Ground or a Compost Bin. A few months ago, this filmmaker told me that someone had told him his screenplay would work better on stage, that he should turn it into a play. I thought that was ridiculous, and told him so too. Why would you want to produce something designed for the screen on stage? The other way around, I understand. But in probing the question further, it sounded as if his screenplay was very wordy, and they were trying to dismiss his work by sending it to the theater, where they thought dialogue would be more welcome. This made me mad. Theater is not here to take your shitty film cast-offs. We value words, sure, but if there's not a reason to put those words on stage, live, in front of people, in the moment, it doesn't need to be there. If the piece is just a couple of people talking, make a radio show or something. Podcast that shit. It just felt like some film folks thought of the theater as their compost bin, where they could throw their scraps and maybe have something to spread on their garden. And this guy, with his dialogue-heavy screenplay, had thought, maybe I should turn this into a play. But he had literally no idea what went into producing a play. He thought it must be easier than producing a film. Don't worry. I dissuaded him from that idea pretty quickly. His screenplay was a 2-person kitchen tables type scenario. He could easily shoot it with a couple of actors and an iPhone if he wanted to. He could do it for almost nothing. To produce those same 2 people at a table in a reputable theater in New York City would cost thousands upon thousands of dollars. And there'd be no particular reason to see it on stage. It wasn't meant for the stage. It would bring nothing to the medium. The medium wouldn't improve it. I tend to believe that theater should have a reason to be live, to be theatrical in some way. If it's not necessary that an audience be in the room with it, I don't really care about whatever's on stage. That's my particular taste, of course. But yeah, film dudes wanting to offload their dialogue on our stages don't make me happy. Not long after this conversation, I met a student who wanted to work in animation. She had been advised to take some theater classes to help her with her goal. She had no interest in theater. She did not particularly want to do it. But she was open to exploration. And that's fine. Explore away. But I found myself irritated by the teacher who'd advised her to study theater. I felt similarly about this as Mr. Screenplay. Like, if you want to do animation, do animation. Draw. Make silly voices. Put voices to your drawings. Put drawings to your voices. And sure, theater can help all kinds of people with all kinds of stuff, but it feels a bit, I don't know, condescending. No one sends people to film or animation classes to improve their theatrical skills. Like, if the training in your medium is insufficient, work on that. That's the issue, not some strange sideline investigation into an entirely different art form. And I don't mean to sound snobby about this. I am so happy to have people explore whatever kind of art they want. If you're a banker who wants to study theater, I welcome you. If you're a nurse who wants to learn to be a clown, come on over. Join the theatrical party. But I'm not so keen on this using theater to substitute for training in other forms. Theater is an art all by itself. It is not training wheels for film or TV or animation or video. It's just not. And it's not the place to send cast-offs from those arts either. There is, of course, great value in experimenting with other forms to improve your work in your own. In college, I studied a little printmaking and drawing, and I think it gave me some perspective on my work in theater. But broadening your horizons in other forms is very different than trying to use a form as a stepping stone, either toward or away from your own. Explore, by all means. Experiment, discover. I just hope that everyone who dips their toes in a new form gives that form the respect it deserves, in and of itself. Does this sound a little defensive? Maybe it's a little defensive. As someone with a lifetime commitment to theater, I have a lifetime of people assuming I'm aspiring to film or TV. I have hundreds of experiences of telling people I work in theater and instantly being asked, have you ever been on TV? It's not the same. It is not the same. Some people, yes, go back and forth, and more power to them. TV will make you a whole lot more money than theater ever can. But theater is theater. It is not practice. It is not training. It is not a stepping stone. It is not a compost bin. It's not here to try and be something else. Theater is theater. So I'm cracking myself up a little tiny bit because I struggled with the title of this one for a while. And I was just like, there's a word that describes exactly what I'm thinking of. That how do I describe, like, it's not the front end of something and it's not the back end of something. It's not the beginning. It's not the training ground. It's not the compost bin. Like, I went through the whole thing and I ended up just sort of picking two ideas on that spectrum. And like, while I was trying to think of what song to put here, I was like, okay, I looked for songs about training. I looked for songs, I can't remember what else I searched for, but then all of a sudden I was like, oh, stepping stone. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about it being a stepping stone. Like, it's annoying that people think of theater as a stepping stone. And I was like, oh my God, I wish I'd thought of that before. I would have given the blog the title about stepping stone. And I had totally forgotten that I had actually used the idea of a stepping stone within the body of the blog, but somehow it didn't occur to me to go there with the title. The brain is a funny thing. Anyway, so the blog title is the same as it has been, but the song here is, in fact, I'm Not Your Stepping Stone by the Monkees. I have a few things to say about this song. Before I do, though, I realized I should tell you about some of the things that are out in the world that I have been making and working on, which I would love to have you experience, read, listen to, whatever it is. So, first of all, you know about the blog because I read it to you, so that's great. The other podcast that I have, many of you already know about, but if you don't yet, it is called Reading the Library Book, and it's a podcast where I read my novel for young people, one chapter at a time. It is weirdly hard to find on iTunes. if you're already subscribed there, you'll still get it, but I think it's hard to search for there. But it's available everywhere else on every other podcast app. So if you have any other podcast apps, check for it there. Links for most of those are on the website, which is emilyrainbowdavis.com/reading the library book. So listen to that if you like. That that podcast has become actually more popular than this one. So that's funny. So check it out. But I can recommend to you guys that you listen to that one, but I can't recommend to them to listen to this one because mostly it's kids who are listening to that, and I do too much swearing over here on Songs for the Struggling Artist for that. Yeah. So the other thing is my Lullaby album is out. It is on streaming platforms. I think it's everywhere now. I know it's on iTunes. I know it's on Apple. I know it's on Spotify and Deezer, if anyone's on Deezer. And if you are on Deezer, tell me about it because I don't know a single person on Deezer. And it's on my website. So if you want to buy the album, the best place to do it is obviously on my website. And when you do that, I can then send a portion of the proceeds to the Women's Refugee Commission. So that's out. And listen to it wherever you normally, want to be listening. That is, I'm happy to, it's out so you can listen to it. So enjoy. Especially if you have little people in your life. It is an album I made for my friends' kids, mostly. So check it out. I'm sure there are actually other things because I've been a little bit on a tear. But I can't think of them right now. So those are the two I'm going to tell you about today. And then I'm going to stop plugging my stuff and just play for you I'm Not Your Stepping Stone. But I do have things to say about this song before I play it for you. What a crazy song. I was a big fan of the Monkees. There was this sort of, I think they were on, I don't remember what channel they were on when I was in middle school, I guess. So that was like their revival moment, and I was super into it and super into the music and the show, and I loved the Monkees. I knew it was not supposed to be super cool, but I loved it anyway. And I loved this song a lot because Mickey Dolenz was definitely my favorite Monkee of the four, and he sang this song. But now that I look at this song with my adult feminist eyes, I'm like, what the hell? This song is so ridiculous. So you'll hear it, but like, and there's just like no way to do like a revisioning of the lyrics of this song because it's just set up. So like, here's the story of this song. This guy meets a woman, we don't know. He calls her girl. When he first meets her, she doesn't have any shoes. She has no shoes. And now he's mad because she reads high fashion magazines and is, enjoying her high society life and is careful about her friends. So basically, this is the story of some guy who picked some girl up off the street and is now mad that she's not grateful enough to be his only companion. Anyway, whoa is what I have to say about it. Whoa. I can understand that that's a complicated and fraught situation, but the lyrics that we have, as we have them, make this guy seem like a jerk. Anyway, enjoy. I'm Not Your Stepping Stone. It's actually really fun to sing, and the chords are pretty simple. So, it's fun, but also like, huh? So anyway, here it is. I'm Not Your Stepping Stone. Stepping stone. trying to make your mark on society. You're using all the tricks that you used on me. You're reading all them high fashion magazines. The clothes you're wearing, girl, they're causing public scenes. I said, I'm not your stepping stone. I'm not your stepping stone. Not your stepping stone. Not your stepping stone. Not your stepping stone. I'm not your stepping stone. When I first met you, girl, you didn't have no shoes, but now you're walking around like you're front page news. You've been awful careful about the friends you choose, but you won't find my name in your book of who's who's. I said, I'm not your stepping stone. I'm not your stepping stone. Not your stepping stone, not your stepping stone, not your stepping stone. I'm not your stepping stone. Not your stepping stone, not your stepping stone, not your stepping stone. I'm not your stepping stone. I'm not your stepping stone. I'm not your stepping